Okay. So, welcome to taking care of your body. I love that. Yeah. And there's so many places we could go in this call. And invite you guys, if you have things that you want to be asking about, you can put them in the chat. I may also open it up for verbal questions at some point. So one of the things that really inspired me to create this is there's so many different ways that we can care for our bodies. And when we care for our bodies also can care for us, like help us care for us, which is a beautiful question that Gary Douglas, who's the founder of Access Consciousness, gave to a friend of mine who probably many of you know, Julia Sotis Mattis. And he gave her this question: body, can you help me take care of me? And I love that question. And with the tools of Access Consciousness, which is what we will be largely using in this call, and there's a few other things I'd like to bring in as well from some movement stuff that I do and some other things, is that when you ask a question, you just get to receive the energies that come from that question being asked. It's not about, now I need to find an answer and do whatever whatever the answer gives me, kind of a thing. It's like, ask a question and start to perceive the energies that show up. So I invite you all to just play with that right now. Body, can you help me take care of me? And see what energies show up for you. And you may be perceiving something that is, a little bit more tangible or cognitive, and it may not be. It might just be energetic. You might get a sense of like, oh, yum, and that's
I signed up.
Lindsay, you keep unmuting yourself. So what energetic communication do you have with your body that you haven't acknowledged? And what energetic communication can you choose to be and have with your body that would allow the caring that you can have for your body and that your body can have for you to be far greater than you realize? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 100, POC, shorts, boys, POVAD, species, creations, man. So that, if you don't, anybody now or listening later, that's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And you can, if you want to know more about it, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. But it is just a beautiful tool that we have in Access that deletes, it's like a delete button for all the energies that are just there when we ask those questions. Very powerful tool. So I want to just speak a little bit to one of the things that has been a real game changer for me, and that is that the awareness of our bodies. This is also from Access Consciousness. That this idea that we are infinite beings, not just an idea, but an invitation for you to perceive what's true for you, perhaps a reality, that we are infinite beings. And, we have many lifetimes and many different embodiments over those lifetimes, and that our bodies have a consciousness of their own that is not the exact same as you, the infinite being, and also not separate. So it's this beautiful play of like, I'm a being who has this body in this lifetime, and who's chosen this body in this lifetime and created this body in this lifetime to contribute to everything that I'm asking to, have and be more of as an infinite being. And so our bodies have this beautiful consciousness and awareness of, as physical, organisms, they have this beautiful awareness of kind of what is required in physical reality, what we can create in physical reality. Our bodies know about creating all kinds of things like money and business and, with our, like how we can be with our families, how we can be in our relationships. They just have so much wisdom and there's so much awareness. And when we are willing to care for our bodies and allow our bodies to care for us, then we get to really have this beautiful intimacy with our bodies and the consciousness of our bodies that goes beyond what we've decided we need things to be, how we've decided we need to have things, how we think they need to look, and all of that. And we get to be in the question and in this intimacy of exploration with our bodies. And literally this sense of like, your body, we were talking, I heard a conversation when I jumped on the Zoom about having your own back, which is a class that I do. That is about really getting into actually the back of your body, like starting to access the back of your body and the strength of your back to allow you to have a sense of opening and moving in the world in a different way and intimacy with you. And that is, when we can have our own backs and our bodies have our own backs, there's such a sense of peace and creative possibility that can show up that is completely different than how most people live. So would you be willing to function in the world and with your body in a way that is totally different than how most people live? Is that something that you're asking for? Is that something you would like to have? And what I mean by that is like ease, joy, glory, true ease with everything. And everything that doesn't allow that, and everything that doesn't allow you to receive what your body can contribute to you with that, and that you can contribute to it. Will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 100, POC, POD, shorts, boys, po, vads, bases, creations, and beyonds. So we have, so the 5 elements of intimacy and access are one of my favorite tools, and actually something that I really see as absolutely necessary and foundational for us to have with ourselves and our bodies in order to really create something that's different and beyond. So the 5 elements of intimacy are vulnerability, gratitude, allowance, honoring, and trust. And you can have this with other people only if you have it with you. And I also dare say, if you have it with your body. So having vulnerability means we don't have barriers. We don't do judgment. We don't do anything to keep anything out of our world. We don't separate from ourselves. We don't separate from our bodies. We don't separate from the world. Having allowance is literally having no point of view, like being in a space where we don't judge. We're committed to not judging our bodies, not judging ourselves, not judging our circumstances, what we have and haven't created, all of that. And it doesn't make you a doormat. It makes you a powerhouse. It makes you somebody who has so much awareness available to you for creating something very different in every way. So allowance is a beautiful space and absolutely essential for what it is that if you would really like to have a different reality, and to care for your body and to have your body care for you, you can't have judgment of your body and you. Gratitude is living with this space of like, wow, how did I get so lucky to have this body, to be me, to be in the world, to be a different creature, to have, different tools, to know that He's joy and glory is possible. Whatever it is that you're grateful for, being that, not just like, oh, I'm so grateful, as a idea, but actually living a space of gratitude that is a magical, miraculous energy that expands everything. Honoring is to treat yourself and your body with regard, and anybody else, and the earth, and. So what would it be like to treat your body with regard? To actually have an honoring of your body, to be like, whatever may be going on with your body, what if you didn't judge it? What if it was, hey, what's up? Being with your body in a very different way. And trust, which is like this beautiful space of really giving ourselves the gift of knowing that we're like trusting ourselves, trusting our bodies, and knowing that we and our bodies will show up as we and our bodies show up. And that's not wrong. It's like, what if everything that occurs in your life and with your body could be a gift for you to have more and greater? Sometimes it doesn't show up like we think it will. Sometimes it doesn't show up like we want it to. That's okay. That's okay. When we go to question, we get to receive the gifts of everything, truly everything. That's being a very different creature in the world, right? So what can you be with your body, and what can your body be with you, that allows you to have these elements of intimacy with yourself and with it that would allow you to create beyond anything that you have ever considered before. And everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 100, POC, POD, shorts, boys, POVADs, bases, creations, and beyonds. Okay, so now if we look directly at the energies of taking care of your body, that's a big topic, right? I mean, there's so many places we can go with that. And I wanted to start with these elements of intimacy, and also this energy of like acknowledging the consciousness of your body, because that as a foundation allows you to expand everything. And it also allows you to perceive and choose whatever it is that you would like to, whatever it is that your body is showing you. And the consciousness of our bodies, they show us so much about creation, actually, about physical reality, about what they require. Our bodies are always giving us information about what they require. So, but if you have that sense of separation from your body, and you have that sense of like judgment, you're not being vulnerable with it, you're not receiving from it, you cannot perceive and receive what your body is asking for, in terms of you taking care of it. And sometimes we care for our bodies in ways that are more kind of like direct, maybe it's about food, like eating or not eating, or eating different, or something like that. Moving our bodies in a different way, taking care of our physical tissue, which is one of my favorites to play with. I love exploring that. And then also there's like the energetics of how we be. Like if we're judging our bodies, we're not caring for them. And what would it be like if you considered your body to be like, what if you had a beautiful baby, and that baby was, like you just had this amazing, sweet, innocent, beautiful baby. How diligently would you care for it? Would you judge it when it cried? Would you judge it if it got a little grumpy? No, you would go to question. You'd be like, huh, what do you require, baby? And we do that. We don't even really realize that we do, but we do with babies. Um, it's pretty hard to judge a baby, because they're just this sweet, vulnerable, innocent universe of they are pure consciousness, and they haven't learned, they don't have a mind yet. They don't have definitions of themselves. They don't have personalities. So we really get to be with babies, invite us to be a different space because they don't have a mind. Well, it's the same with your body. It doesn't have a mind, and they don't judge you back. Exactly. There's none of that. So it's like babies like melt that out of existence, which is why people love babies, and when you are so what would it be like if you treated your body like a baby, like a sweet, beautiful baby that was like, hi, I require something right now, you know? I require some food or some sleep or some snuggling or some touch or some care and if you use the tools of access with the baby, it also might be letting you know, hey, you could be a different space. You could be a different energy. My babies did that with me, and I didn't have the tools of access. So I didn't really know. I didn't have all the questions that I could have had, they cried a lot. And it was never because they were hungry, tired, needed a diaper change, all the things that we kind of go through. It was like they actually were showing me that I could be a different space. And I didn't really get the memo until they were a little older. And I was like, oh, my children are showing me things and facilitating me into things all the time. So what if our bodies actually were like that as well? What if our bodies were like, hey, just needed to get your attention. And I'm showing you there's something different possible here. Can you be something different? I'll have more ease if you will, So caring for your body can be, not just the actual physical things you do to take care of it, but also like the space that you be. And being a different space allows our bodies to have more ease. Like we can have all kinds of mental stuff going on, thoughts, feelings, emotions, all these things. And that really affects our bodies. It can affect our chemistry, our physiology, like our nervous system, and a lot of times our bodies they'll present with different kind of like symptoms and things like that because they're like, hey, just doing what I can to get your attention. And just wanted to read, Maria said, they receive unapologetically, invite us to expand our receiving too, regarding babies. What if that was true with our bodies as well? Right. So how much do you control your body? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 100, POC, POD, shorts, boys, POVADs, bases, creations, and beyonds. Nadia says, every kid shows you a totally different space. It's a gift. So grateful to them. What if that was true for bodies too? Right, every body shows us a different space. And I love facilitating 3D body classes or just any sort of body, like even now, it's like when I jumped on the Zoom, I was like, oh, like you and your bodies were contributing so much. And it was like, wow, like this is just so beautiful, the space that you and your bodies are being and bringing and showing not just me, but each other and being together in person. I just came home from some beautiful classes in the Middle East, where we were in person, 3-day body class, having your own back class. We did some X-Men classes. It was just so beautiful to be together, and to touch each other with kind, nurturing energy, and just such an exquisite space, and so much change that can occur when we care for our bodies in that way. And we give them the gift of touch, we give them the gift of presence, we give them the gift of getting out of judgment of them, being curious with them, being curious about them. So what is it that your body is asking for that you can give it, that if you did would allow you to have so much ease, joy, glory, intimacy, change, creation, and everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 100, POC, POD, shorts, boys, POVAD, species, creations, and beyonds. And Claire put this question here. Hey, body, can you show me what it is like to be? Yeah. What does your body know about being? And what do you know about being that you and your body can discover and open up? And that's where we go. Question and choice are two tools in access consciousness that are just so huge for opening up new universes. And we're in the middle of the 6-day class right now in Costa Rica and online. And one of the things that Gary Douglas, who's one of the facilitators, was asking, he was inviting us to this knowing of that, when we ask questions and we make choices, we actually it's like, what if every question that you asked and every choice that you made was opening a new universe, a new beginning? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? And yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all 100, POC, POD, shorts, boys, POVAD, species, creations, and beyonds. So what would be possible if you really had the elements of intimacy with your body that allowed you to ask very different questions and make very different choices that open up new possibilities and new universes every 10 seconds. And so often we're functioning from the reference points of the past, where we're like, this is how my body is. This is, how things are. This is how creation is. This is how business is. This is how money is, And we hold on, we keep the past alive with our minds, which is pretty crazy. Every moment brings new possibilities if you stay in question and you're willing to choose into that as a reality. We keep our we keep the past alive with our minds, and then we actually, our bodies show up as the space, the space that we be, which includes our judgments and our thoughts and our projections and our reference points, determines the way that the molecules of our bodies show up and behave. So the form of your body doesn't have a lot of definition to it. We give it that with our points of view, with the significance, the structure, the reference points that we place upon everything and upon physical reality. Now, what would it be like if you could tap into your body, actually, the wisdom of it and the capabilities that your body has to be mutable, malleable, to have metamorphosis, to change all the time? What if your body could be greater every day? That's one of my favorite things to play with is, okay, how much greater can my body be today than it was yesterday? It's a totally different reality from aging, right? Aging is like, my body is going to get worse every day. I'm sorry, that does not work for me. That is not my reality. So everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive what's true for your body, to be in the question, to be in the choice of that, to explore that, to care for your body by not defining it, by not judging it, by not giving it structure and significance that creates it as a limited thing rather than an organism of evolution and consciousness. We just try and uncreate all of that. Right, wrong, about all 100, Pakpa, shorts, boys, povas, bases, creations, and beyonds. So these are just some of the spaces and the energies and the questions and the curiosities that, you could come back to this and replay it and, just to open up the space for you to choose different things. And there's all kinds of energies being woven through here, and it will change and change and change in the future as you have more awareness and more choice. And some of the tools that I've shared a million tools already. And I also would like to share some of the 3-day body class and the body processes are some of the tools. And then there's a bunch of other ones as well. But the body processes in Access Consciousness are such a phenomenal energy for the exploration and the actualization of different realities with our bodies. And the Access Consciousness body processes are hands-on energetic processes that literally undo a lot of the definitions, the judgments, the places where we've solidified our bodies, where we've made them at the effect of the world. And you put your hands on, somebody else puts their hands on your body, you put your hands on their body, you run a process, and it undoes all kinds of things. And it allows you to step into a different space, you and your body to step into a different space where there is so much more available and so much more possible. And that is to me, the body processes are foundational to everything in my life. Like when I take a 3-day body class or an advanced body class, my whole universe changes, because we undo the solidifications of our bodies. We give them this nurturing energy, and then they can actually show up in such a different way to partner with us in the creation of our lives. And I always see, for me, my whole, my business grows, my money flows grow, my whole universe expands from receiving the body processes. There's for me, a reminder of who I actually am and what my body actually is and what it's capable of. And these classes, you can take individual body process classes, you can take a 3-day body class, and they undo and exponentialize so much. And you literally, I know a lot of you guys have taken them already. And you may have, your own awareness of what that's created for you. And if you have taken even a one-time body class or a foundation class in Access where you get some of the body processes, use them. Please use them. Run them on yourself. Use them every day. Find people to exchange with. These are such powerful energies that are designed to exponentialize our reality, the ease, joy, and glory we can have with our bodies. They are one of the most dynamic ways that we can take care of our bodies, and that our bodies can also help us care for us. So it's beyond linear, the beauty that these body processes create. And I just want to remind you of that. If you have given yourself access to them, please don't forget, when you're going to sleep at night, put your hands on your body and just ask something to run, And if you haven't taken a body process class, put your hands on your body and just You could do it right now, even, and just be like, anything that my body can receive, let's just have that. Touch is such a powerful universe, and other people touching us with kindness, with caring, that's a beautiful way to care for our bodies. Such a beautiful way to care for our bodies. When we touch our own bodies, that is also a beautiful way to care for our bodies. And you can do it anytime. You can do it when you're driving, you can do it. I feel like there's something Dr. Seuss coming on. Like, you can do it in a car, you can do it in a bus, you can do it very far, you can do it just for us. um, that was my lame attempt at Dr. Seussing. But it's true. It's like right now, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm touching my forehead. I was touching my belly, earlier. You can't see that when you're scuba diving. Yeah, exactly. I mean, even it was so cool. I was on a plane, flying home from Riyadh. And the guy next to me, he was a lot of space. He was a beautiful man, and just was like kind and easy. I was so grateful. I was like, thank you, body, for choosing. Here's a super pragmatic, super pragmatic. I actually did a podcast on this that'll go out today, but on traveling with ease, and you including your body in that. So we can share it with you. But whenever I book flights, I always ask what's going to work. So I ask my body what's going to work. And when I'm looking at the flights, and then it's like whatever pops energetically, that's what I book. And I really don't have flight drama. I travel a lot. I fly a lot. I'm hardly ever delayed. Like, it's just easy because I ask my body, what do you know, body? What's going to work? That's a way I can take care of my body. My body can help me care for me. So I also do that when I'm choosing my seat. So I'm like, I look at the seat map and I go, what's going to work? Like, body, which seat is going to be ease, joy, and glory for you? So I did on this flight. And I was so bummed too, because I was so close to getting upgraded in business class on one of the flights. And I was like, I won't even tell the story. It was hilarious, but I did not get upgraded. But it was fine, actually. Like, it was totally fine. It was a 10-hour flight. I haven't done a 10-hour flight not in business class in a very long time. My body is a queen, and I'm willing to acknowledge that. And I'm like, I always somehow create business class flights on long flights. This time it was not happening, but it was so much ease for me. And part of it was this man, like the two guys in my row were like wonderful, like spacious, easy, and the man sitting next to me, he was like, it was so cool because there were just points during the flight where he was just like touching me, like his arm would kind of be pressed up against mine, or his leg or whatever. And it was like, neither one of us had any point of view at all. And it was actually like such a contribution to me. Like, my body was like, oh, touch, thank you. There was no judgment in his world around it. And I could tell his body was receiving. And he was a humanoid. So if you know what that is, like, humanoids have different bodies. Humanoids and humans, kind of people on the planet that have two very different ways of functioning. Humanoids tend to be more the seekers of the world. And I ask for humanoids everywhere I go because I love humanoids. I love dealing with humanoids. And so, humanoid bodies have this beautiful, actually, they have an amazing way of exchanging energies and information through touch, which is really a phenomenal universe that I can't even begin to go into here. But there you go. There's a little bit of that energy. And part of the magic of what gets created in a 3-day body class. And advanced body class, which is also an amazing class. So anyway, his body and our bodies were like completely contributing to the ease. of each other on this flight, touching or not touching. And it was so cool to just not have any significance around it, any like, don't touch me, you know, there was none of that. And I was like, oh. And it was such a cool reminder to me of like, touch is such a fucking gift to our bodies, you know, somebody else or ourselves. And vulnerability, yeah, totally, is like, I am willing to receive from anything and everything. And so that was very cool. It never shows up like you think it's going to, you know? And I'm like, thanks, dude. Like we didn't talk, we didn't talk much. We talked a little bit, but it was just this contribution, you know? And that 10 hours on that flight, it was just so much ease for me and my body. I was blown away. That's what happens when you really have all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. That's a choice, you know? So Maria said, can you also talk about tending to your tissue, as I mentioned in the beginning? And that's, yeah, when we touch ourselves, I mean, you can tend to the tissue of your body, you know, there's body work, there's, you know, massage or SE, which is beautiful, beautiful body work, energetic synthesis of structural embodiment. That's one of the types of body work we do. And in Access, I love, love, love SE. I love doing SE on other bodies. I play with it and with my own body in whatever way I can. I don't teach SE. I used to teach the intro class, but I haven't renewed that in a while. I do SE and I love doing SE with bodies. I love SE has this way of melting bodies into a different possibility. And melting, there's so many pieces and like not pieces, but there's so many universes to SE. And it's beyond the scope of this conversation. But, you know, check out SE classes if you can, ESSE, Nadia posted in the chat. And sessions, you know, it's so incredible to be able to touch a body or be touched and literally have so much expanded around embodiment energetically, and also like the melting of the tissue, and in a way where our bodies are like, when you receive SE, your body is inviting. Like when I work on bodies, they show me where to go. They show me where to go. EMT, energetic manual therapy, also Glenna Rice teaches that. So lots of tools. Now, one of the things I love to teach, which is how we work with our own tissue, is a class that I have that's called Fascia Lab. And I do it sometimes online and I do it in person. We're going to be doing it in Slovenia in a few weeks, in November something. Maybe you could post it, Maria, in the chat. And I have been asked by many people to do one online the 11th of November in Slovenia. So I will be doing one online probably in maybe December we'll start. But Fascia Lab is a incredible exploration of our fascia, the actual tissue of our bodies. And the fascia is this amazing thin, extremely strong membrane that wraps everything. It wraps our muscle, our connective tissue. It is our connective tissue. It wraps our bones. It wraps our organs. Oh, that's so cool. Raquel said, Fascia Lab online changed my life. That's so cool. Thank you for that. I'm so happy to know that. Yeah, it's amazing how much it becomes possible when we really learn to work with our own bodies and the structure of our bodies, the movement of our bodies, the organization of our bodies, our posture. Fascia Lab weaves elements of bowspring movement, which is a movement practice that I also teach that is so world changing. It's about posture. It's about learning how to actually move your body in such a way that allows your bones to reorganize in a way more harmonious way. And a lot of times when we have pain and when we have dysfunction in our body, it's because our bones are not in proper alignment with each other. And that's what causes like our tissue to get to get like hardened and stuck, and we have pain and we have limited mobility, things like that. And so when we work with our fascia, bowstring movement works with the fascia. It helps you learn how to reorganize your fascia and therefore reorganize your bones and your alignment and your posture, and which reorganizes how you show up in the world, which is also part of the having your own back class. That's more of the energetics of it. Fascia Lab is more of the actual movement and self body work part of this, where we can learn to change our own fascia through movement and through self body work. So where we start to learn how we can touch ourselves, that actually can melt and shift and change your fascia, and reorganize the fascia. The fascia holds the bones in place. And when it's hard, the bones they're stuck a lot of times in a place that's not ideal. We lubricate the fascia through movement, through body work, through energetics. We start to move that, and we start to give the fascia different input through our movement and through touch, self-touch. And things reorganize, and the bones actually can shift into a different alignment. Everything becomes more harmonious. And I love the combination of the 3-day body class with Fascia Lab, because it's the body processes allow our bodies to be so mutable, so changeable, so adaptable, so as fluid as they actually are. And then adding this piece of like knowing how to move your body and knowing how to work with your own body and your own fascia, it's just enormous what can shift. And the intimacy we develop with our bodies when we learn, when we just are willing to give them touch of any kind from somebody else and from us, that has kindness and caring and, no agenda, is amazing, whether it's, body work or sex or, any sort of sensuality or, or you just touching your own body. It's just, putting your body on the earth. I love doing that too. Just like laying on the grass, so there's so many ways that we can provide our bodies with these beautiful sensual experiences. We can include in that like food and movement and, just the exploration of what it is to have this beautiful body, and there's so many resources that we have that gift our bodies the joy of embodiment and the joy of being alive, what I call the creation of living, where we have pleasure, we have hedonism, we have like an intensity that is about being alive, not about being wrong. Just so many different energies that are about living with true pleasure and just so much beauty and presence with our bodies, letting them be the guide to show us what is possible in this beautiful world, on this incredible planet with ease. And so there's, this is a topic I could just keep going and going and going. Oh, Nadia, thank you so much. She said, one of the yummy things about you that you represent, how it's to be intimate with the body. Yeah, I love having intimacy with my own body. And that's, most people think, well, masturbation, like what if masturbation's wonderful, but what if you could masturbate when you eat, when you walk, when like right now, as I'm sitting here, like I'm enjoying my body. I'm enjoying the vibration of my voice and, my butt on the seat, and I'm sitting in like a bowspring posture, my ribs are open and expanded and my head is floating, and there's all these things that we get to learn and our bodies can show us when we're like, yeah, I do live every single day. I really do, of like, it's like, hey, you amazing thing. Like, how can I take care of you today? And how can you take care of me today? What can we create together today? And that's like, oh, it's such a gift. Our bodies are such a gift. And most people walk through the world not even wanting to have a body. They don't even know that they have a body. Like, I would say, you know, a lot of the world doesn't even know they have bodies. They're just like, oh, it's this thing, I got to control it, you know? And taking care of your body in this reality is like eating right and exercising. You know, it's like, okay, that's kind of boring. Like, what if you were like, body, what do you desire? What do you require? What can I gift you? What choices can I make for you to nurture you into pleasure and vitality beyond anything I've ever considered before? Um, yeah, the difference between noticing what's wrong with your body or noticing what's wonderful with your body. And what if, even if you think there's things wrong with your body, it's wonderful? I mean, really, like your body shows you so many things. Our bodies show us so many things. And sometimes they use pain to get our attention, or illness or dysfunction. Okay, cool. That's your body's way. It's one of your body's ways of communicating with you. If you go to question and you wonder, hey, I wonder what this is about. I wonder what else I could be that's different. What could I choose that's different? Body, what are you asking for? Show me. You know, all of these things open up universes to have a very different reality with embodiment and caring for our bodies so that they can care for us. So many universes to explore. And I am going to be doing some body classes coming up. I have some stuff coming up online and also in person. In Boulder, I have a new house that I'm moving into next week. It's on this amazing land that is like so spacious and beautiful and inviting. And the land is like, please come and bring the bodies. So we're doing a body class there starting on Halloween, October 31st, so a week from Friday. I will post photos on Facebook. You know, wherever you are in the world, you could still come. You know, you got, 9 days to get here. So that's going to be amazing. And then I go to Slovenia. The earth there has been really calling me. And so we're doing a body class there November 8, 9, 10, something like that. Yeah, 8, 9, 10. And actually, I'm going to be doing having your own back introductory class the night before that, and the Fascia Lab class the day after. And Dane here is also doing an advanced body class in Venice right after that. So inviting you, if you have the prereqs for that, that's going to be amazing. And then I have some things online. So starting on Friday, I believe, I'm doing a class. My new home, it's in Boulder, Colorado. It's here. It's just east a little bit. Starting on Friday, I'm doing a call that's called Beauty on Your Body, and really like including your body in the exploration and creation and seeking and choosing of beauty and pleasure and hedonism. I'm so looking forward to that. And in December, I'm going to be doing online a body show me class, which is a really cool class that I do. The topic is, how do I trust you? Body show me, how do I trust you? So those are going to be 8 calls. It includes 2 private sessions with me. It's limited to 8 people, so it's not a huge class. It's intimate, and we really deep dive in that class. How can I enjoy walking in nature without getting bitten by mosquitoes? Well, ask your body to be its own mosquito repellent. I do that a lot. And hey, you can use mosquito repellent too. My hubby makes this beautiful mosquito repellent that's like all kinds of essential oils. It's not like for sale online or anything like that, but just as a possibility, he just was like, I want to find something that's not chemical, that is that really works. So he started researching like, what oils he could use, and he put all of them into this formula. It's amazing. So, you could play with that. Like, it doesn't, it's always, sometimes it's like, it's great to use, like to use like this reality tools like mosquito repellent, I'm a big fan of it. And this stuff that he makes is very nurturing to the skin too, so it's like, it doesn't have to be chemical. If you're everywhere, if you're coming to me at any point and you want some, I could see if he can make some for you. So anyway, lots of possibilities, lots of exploration. And if you would like to join for any of these, or anything that your body is asking for, choose it, and ask your body to help you create. If it's a money thing, oh yes, Prague. More body classes. I'm doing Having Your Own Back in Prague, the 20th of November. And I'm also doing a 3-day body class in Prague in June, the weekend after Global Foundation. I'm doing a 3-day body class in Canada at the end of January, most likely in Calgary. So we're still setting up a bunch of other classes, but you can stay, just look at heathernichols.com/events if you want more and all of that. And ask your body to be your partner in creation. What can it show you? Come to Estonia. I would love to come to Estonia. Let's talk. Come to Toronto. Yeah, if you want to host me, ping me, send an email to info@heathernichols.com. That'll go to me and my team. But yeah, thank you all so much. And truly, like, what if your body is a far greater gift than you can even fathom? And I wonder what is possible if you have that intimacy with your body and you're willing to care for it and take care of it. And what can it contribute to you and everything that you're creating, everything that you're asking for? Our bodies are powerhouses of creation and consciousness beyond anything that we can fathom. And I invite you to that universe and to know what that is for you and your body, because your unique awareness is your greatest asset. So big, I'm hugging all of you. Thank you so much and take care. Bye for now. Thank you, translators. Bye.